Welcome back to a game of Fangs and Thrones. My name's Hannah, and this is my June book haul. If you've seen the vlogs, you'll know that there have been a few books that I've bought this month, and I have tried to somewhat arrange them. And you'll know that I did go book shopping at the end of the month when I'd already filmed this, and then needed to refilm it because the footage was corrupt. So I'm just going to stick to the original list. So I don't know why I was telling you that, but anyway, I have about 13 books to show you, and I have split these all up into somewhat categories, so we'll just start from the end and work our way through. So the first category are these two books, which are my middle grade selections for the month that I purchased. I have Nevermore by The Trials of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend. Oh, this is so pretty. So it is at the back. It says, "Step boldly. Morrigan Crow is cursed, destined to die on her 11th birthday. But as the clock strikes midnight, she is whisked away by a remarkable man called Jupiter North, and taken to the secret city of Nevermore. There, she is invited to join the wondrous society. Mystery, magic, and protection are hers, if she can only pass 4 impossible trials using an exceptional talent, which she doesn't have." And then we have Pages in Court, Tilly and the Book Wanderers by Anna James. 11-year-old Tilly Pages has lived above her grandparents' bookshop ever since her mother disappeared. One day, Tilly's favourite book characters appear in the shop, and she discovers she can follow them into their worlds through the magic of book wandering. Can her new power solve the mystery of what happened to her mother all those years ago? Let's be honest, Tilly is living the dream of all readers. So, that one. Next one is my Standalones. Now, I'm not sure if these are all young adult, or if one of them in particular is adult. If you know, let me know. But we have these 4. We have A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. For Malik, the Solstasia Festival is a chance to escape his war-stricken home and start a new life with his sisters in the prosperous city of Zaran. But when a vengeful spirit abducts his younger sister Nadia as payment to enter the city, Malik strikes a fatal deal: kill Karina, Crown Princess of Saran, in exchange for Nadia's freedom. But Karina has deadly aspirations of her own. Her mother, the Sultana, has been assassinated. Her court threatens mutiny, and Solstasia looms like a knife over her neck. Grief-stricken, Karina decides to resurrect her mother through ancient magic, requiring the beating heart of a king, and she knows just how to obtain one by offering her hand in marriage to the victor of the Solstasia competition. When Malik rigs his way into the contest, he and Karina are set on a heart-pounding course to destroy each other. But as attraction flares between them and ancient evils stir, will they be able to see their tasks to the death? And the sequel has been announced. It's a Psalm of Storms and Silence, and the cover is gorgeous. Next we have Ace of Spades by, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce this, Farida Abike Imedi. Welcome to Neva's Private Academy, where money paves the hallways and the students are never less than perfect. Until now, because anonymous texter Aces is bringing 2 students' dark secrets to light. Talented musician Devon buries himself in rehearsals, but he can't escape the spotlight when his private photos go public. Head girl Chiamaka isn't afraid to get what she wants, but soon everyone will know the price she has paid for power. Someone is out to get them both, someone who holds all the aces, and they're planning much more than a high school game. Now, I have heard Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte talk about this one, and she absolutely raves about it. I've been trying to get out of fantasy and into other genres, as you can see. Most of those are fantasy. Most of those are fantasy. We have my Sarah J. Maas collection, my Cassandra Clare collection, and most of those are fantasy too. So I'm branching out, guys. Hopefully. On the same vein, we have Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. Glamorous socialite Noemi Taboada. Life is life of parties and entertainment is interrupted when she receives a frantic letter from her newlywed cousin, who is begging to be rescued from a mysterious doom. Noemi immediately heads to High Place, an estate in the mountains of Mexico owned by the secluded Doyle family, determined to discover what is troubling her beloved cousin. The fortunes of the silver mining Doyles have eroded, and their house is a dilapidated relic. Even more worrisome are the inhabitants of High Place. There's the alluring yet menacing new husband, his foreboding father, and other taciturn relatives. Soon the house itself begins invading Noemi's dreams with visions of blood and doom. She must tread carefully, for there are many secrets behind the walls of High Place, and Noemi may soon find it impossible to leave this enigmatic house behind. Now, all I know about this one is that it's getting mixed reviews and that it deals with eugenics, and to be honest, I don't need to know more. It's a thriller. We like going into these not knowing much. And again, with Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power. I adored Wilder Girls. So, Burn Our Bodies Down. There is a stranger with my face. Ever since Margot was born, it's just been her and her mother. No answers to Margot's questions, no history to hold on to. Just the two of them stuck in their rundown apartment, struggling to get along. But that's not enough for Margot. She wants family, she wants a past, and when she finds a photograph pointing her to a place called Faline, she leaves. But when Margot gets there, it's not what she bargained for. Margot's mother left for a reason, but was it to hide her past, or was it to protect Margot from what's still there? I absolutely adored Wilder Girls. I loved the writing and the twisty-turny nature of it. I'm hoping this will be along the same vein. I'll do my biggest pile last because it does need a little bit of explanation. So the next pile is my subscription boxes. Now I have unboxed these in vlogs, I think, but we'll quickly go through them. We have the Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. This one was the Illuminary book of the month. One is a vengeful princess seeking to depose her brother from his throne. The other is a priestess searching for her family. Together they will change the fate of an empire. Imprisoned by her dictator brother, Melanie spends her days in isolation in the Harana, an ancient temple that was once the source of powerful magic, but is now little more than a decaying ruin. Priya is a maidservant, one of several who make the treacherous journey to the top of the Harana every night to attend Malini's chambers. She is happy to be an anonymous judge as long as it keeps anyone from guessing the dangerous secret she hides. But when Malini accidentally bears witness to Priya's true nature, their destinies become irrevocably tangled. I can never say that word. But this is just a stunning book with the sprayed edges there. And I think it has a sneak peek of a book in the back as well. A sneak peek of the Mask of Mirrors. So, 2 books for the price of 1, almost. Then we have Strange Creatures by Phoebe North, and I need to stick the book plate in. From the moment that Annie was born, she and her brother Jamie were inseparable. Alike in almost every way, they promised to always take care of each other, and when life became too much for them, they created their own space in the wood behind the house, a fantasy world called Gumlea, where no one else could find them. But then came middle school, when Jamie grew dark and distant. He found new friends and a life away from Annie and Gumley. And then one day, he disappears. Annie, her family, and the entire community are devastated. As the days turn into months, turn into years, everyone begins to accept that Jamie is gone for good. Everyone except Annie, who believes that Jamie somehow has entered Gumley, and she's the only one who can bring him back. But as Annie finds a new relationship with a girl she did not expect, she makes startling discoveries about her brother's disappearance, and has to decide how much of herself she's willing to give up in order to keep hope alive. As they follow the lives of Annie, Jamie, and the friends and family around them, acclaimed author Phoebe North weaves an unflinching, unforgettable story of the empty spaces inside all of us and the devastating sacrifices we make in order to become whole. And it's not too chunky, and I think it's young adult, so I'll read that one fairly quick. Then we have this gorgeous special edition of Witches Steeped in Gold by Fairy Loot. Order divides them, revenge will unite them. Aria Adair has spent her life in a cell. Heir of an overthrown and magically gifted dynasty, she was exiled from the island nation of Ica, but every day brings her closer to freedom and vengeance. Jasmine Carrier grew up dressed in gold, with stolen magic at her fingertips. Daughter of the self-crowned Diane, her existence is a threat to her mother's rule, but Jasmine has no intention of dying. Sworn enemies, the two witches enter a deadly alliance to take down the woman who threatens both their worlds. But revenge is a bloody pursuit, and nothing is certain, except the lengths Aria and Jasmine will go to win this game. Heard nothing but great things about this one. So, the last pile, these are my sequels. And as you may be aware, for July I'm running a readathon called Sequelathon, and it's basically what it says on the tin. We are just reading sequels. But there are 2 books in here that I'll get to last that are a duology in their own right, but because they are a continuation of a world, I'm counting them as a sequel, because I don't think you need to read these ones before the first trilogy, but you know, that's what I'm doing, so I'm counting it as a sequel. So the first one is Vulture. Now this is the finale to the Isles of Storm and Sorrow trilogy, written by Beth Hogan. So Marianne has always wanted to be the Viper, who is he's a bit of a pirate. He protects the king's order, and that's her father, but he doesn't want her to do that. He has other plans. He arranges for her to be married off to a prince to try and keep the king under control, and it all goes from there. Obviously I can't read the back of any of these books for spoilers for previous books, except maybe that duology I was talking about. So this is the explosive conclusion to the Isles of Storm and Sorrow trilogy. And from what I remember of Venom, which is the second book, things weren't going well for Marianne. Bless her. She was really put through it. Then we have the finale to the Daevabad trilogy, which started with City of Brass by S.H. Chakraborty. This is a booktube darling that's doing the rounds at the moment, but basically City of Brass is the story of Nari, who is a con woman in the streets of Cairo. She has an affinity for healing and uses that to tell rich people that they are slightly more ill than they actually are, in order for her to make a profit from her friend's apothecary. She's quite happy doing that, but she knows that this isn't what she wants, this isn't where she's from, and she accidentally summons a djinn who then possesses a client, and then the djinn warrior Dara appears and takes Nari to his home, to her ancestral home. The sequel is Kingdom of Copper, and that picks up a couple of years after the original trilogy and things, and Nari is finding her place there. And then obviously this is the finale, and I am very intrigued about where this is going, because I've got no idea. Then we have 2 comics, the Wicked and the Divine Volume 6, which is Imperial Phase Part 2 by Gillen, McKelvey, Wilson and Cowles. I'll just read the back because it explains it better than I can. Every 90 years, 12 gods return as young people. They are loved, they are hated. In 2 years, they are all dead. It's happening now, it's happening again. And this is the graphic novel bind-up of issues 29 to 33, plus some extra supplementary material. But I absolutely adore this. We have a new god in the pantheon who hasn't been seen before, and she's causing chaos. Then we have Volume 3, Safety Behind Bars, and this is The Walking Dead by Robert Kirkman, Charlie Adlard and Cliff Rathburn. If you've seen the show, you know what this is about. But basically it's the zombie apocalypse, but rather than focusing on the zombie side of things, these comics are a bit more of they have a bit more of a contemporary feel within an apocalyptic setting, as it follows our characters whose name I have forgotten, as it follows our guys as they are trying to Rick, that's the guy. It follows Rick and his family as they are trying to survive in a world where zombies are ruling, where zombies are walking around free. And then we have Liberty, which is the sequel to Enchante by Gita Trelasi. This follows Camille, who is around in the time of the French Revolution, where it's basically set in the time of Les Mis. It's a bit like that, but Camille has magic and she uses that magic to infiltrate the court of Versailles, and things go from there. She has a little sister who she's trying to protect because her sister isn't very well either, and there's a brother who is abusive and wants to basically destroy any hope that Camille and her sister have of being happy. This is the sequel to that, and I wish I could tell you more about it, but I can't. But it's such a pretty cover. I like the understated covers. Speaking of pretty covers, we have Illusionary by Zoraida Cordova. This is the sequel to Incendiary, which I did receive in a fairy loot box, and I think it's this one here. But this is set in a world where magic is real. And the magic practitioners call themselves Moira, and their magic skills are split into subcategories. Renata is our main character, and she is used as a whisper. She can get into people's brains, implant memories, take memories away, and for the first so many years of her life she was employed as the palace inquisitor / executioner, but she escaped and joined the rebels, who now use her for spying purposes, but they don't fully trust her because of her past. In Incendiary, her captain, who she has feelings for, ends up getting wind of a new weapon and ends up getting himself caught. So Renata takes it upon herself to fulfill his mission, and she ends up back where she starts. Illusionary is the sequel to that, and it is such a pretty cover. I think I might break my rule about displaying fairy undercovers so I can get both of these to match, but we'll see. The last two books in this video are Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. Now you'll understand why I'm including these in the sequel pile, because they are set in the same world as the Grishaverse but follow different characters. And I don't think you have to read the Grishaverse first, but I did. I have them on my Kindle, and then I listened to these on audio, and I'm never going to re-listen to them because audiobooks just aren't for me, so I have the physical copies. So we'll read the back of Six of Crows just in case anybody needs a recap. But criminal prodigy Kaz Brecker has been offered a chance at a deadly heist: break into the Ice Court, a military stronghold that has never been breached, and retrieve a hostage whose knowledge could change Grisha magic forever. To succeed would mean riches beyond Kaz's wildest dreams, but he can't pull it off alone. A convict with a thirst for revenge, a sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager, a runaway with a privileged past, a spy known as the Wraith, a heartrender using her magic to survive the slums, a thief with a gift for unlikely escapes. 6 dangerous outcasts, 1 impossible heist. Together they might just be unstoppable if they don't kill each other first. And then Crooked Kingdom is the concluding part of this duology, and you can just see it, but I do have King of Scars just here, so I can't read King of Scars until I remember what happens in these ones. So that's it. 13 books, and no, I am not going to try and pick them up because I am a weakling. So that's the end of this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see this talk about these, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.